So, the Transformers nostalgia theming this year sure has given us a bit of a cosmic shit whip, hasn't it? I mean, we just got the Hero Rises 2-pack with Alpha Trion and Orion packs. We got Buzzworthy Origins Bumblebee, Dion, Ariel, and Devcon were just revealed to the general public, and now we have Giant Space Vacuum Music Fucker! So Jazz has been one of those integral characters who's basically gotten shit all in terms of media or figure representation over the last decade or so, hasn't he? I mean, the last time we saw him was in animated where it got cut short or just casually being ripped in half so fucking hard that it got turned into a meme that I'm pretty sure emotionally broke Bob posting at a time. And it's kind of stupid to me that a character who's one of like the first 4 Autobots displayed on the screen in history of ever has gotten so little in terms of media or figures. This music-loving Mick-Chat-ass dipshit over here was such a kick-ass character, being the cool cat, finding the cool place to kick it, all while still being able to rip your shit open with a grappling hook and turn your asshole inside out if you ever fuck with his music! So this big, stupid space rectangle is based off his premiere appearance in Episode 1 of Generation 1, More Than Meets the Eye, Part 1. And I have to say, they absolutely nailed his alt mode from the cartoon. The square nose cone kind of swoops in a little bit, giving an aerodynamic, spacey vibe, while also being the most square thing in existence, with a nice clear plastic windscreen that tabs in concerningly tight in his vehicle mode. The paint is very minimal on this thing, but considering what it's going for, it was executed surprisingly well, with a nice glossy, shiny, futuristic finish and Autobot logo proudly placed on the front of his hood. I love how this figure has the minimalist, cartoon-accurate paint job, but knows exactly where to distribute the paint to make the figure shine, and the sculpted was handled with a fantastic balance of subtlety while popping just enough to show you how refined and fast it is on the Cybertronian streets. But the thing I love the most about this figure is how well they handle the transformation on it. It can be a bit of a bitch untabbing the roof, but the way that the legs work is actually kinda wild. They open up inwards to make clearance for the doors to neatly fold in on themselves with just barely enough clearance to hide themselves, and the feet fold out pretty much the way you'd expect them to. The rest of it's about as G1 Jazz as you're ever gonna get, and the robot mode you get out of this guy is simply gorgeous. The head sculpt is single-handedly the most perfect Jazz I've ever seen. His gorgeous rich blue visor is clean as fuck, and the silver they used on his face is to die for. Some people are obviously going to complain about how, ew, that chest is full parts bad. Wacky internet noises to emphasize outrage here. Honestly, the use of faux parts here was not only integral to the design, but it makes him look so much better than the SS-86 mold. The Autobot logo isn't quite bold enough in my opinion, but other than that, he hits all the cues he needs to in order to be a pretty much perfect Jazz. The articulation on this guy's about average with a couple of extras. His head has a bit more range of motion than the traditional Deluxe, and you can swap out his hands which have 5mm ports, and oh shit, he found the chainsaw! The lower body is also really well balanced with smooth joints that are tightened to perfection, and weight distribution that allows him to balance perfectly in some of the more dynamic, animated, and expressive poses. Hasbro will never cease to amaze me with how they can take the most rectangular and blocky thing on Earth and have it transform into a slim and refined kick-ass robot mode. He has a blocky set of legs, but they're also slim enough to be athletic and have an unrestricted amount of movement, and he just looks stunning in any pose that you can get him into. This figure did a beautiful job of hitting a note of nostalgia for hardcore collectors / financially certified idiots like me, but also did a good job of being a fun toy that you can whoosh around like a dipshit and have a good goddamn time with it. If you can get your hands on one of these guys, absolutely pick him up because he is so goddamn good.